funny thing happened on the way to recording last night's podcast. I fell asleep. Yeah, basically in the middle of trying to produce the podcast, I was literally dozing off. Podcasting it's a weird situation. You go through this involved procedure, right? Where you're focused. At the beginning, you're focused on not making mistakes. And you try your best not to. And then all of a sudden, right, you evolve, kind of like you go through this metamorphosis, kind of like a butterfly type thing, right? You come out of your chrysalis and you're brand new and shit. You're like a pro at this motherfucker. You do not care about making mistakes, and that's the beauty of podcasting. So I said last week, listen, I'm not going to do a bunch of live shows anymore. It's better off for me to just kind of hone my craft. I got 2 other podcasts that are coming up this year. I actually did the first 3 episodes of the sports podcast. We did a dry run, if you will. I don't even know that you can actually listen to it yet. But people did listen to it on Facebook because we did post it on Facebook. I also have the Dark Horde podcast coming up very shortly. And just to get sidetracked for a moment, I actually had a paranormal research group that's apparently been recording EVPs at cemeteries. So I've asked them for a sample of their recordings because apparently they had some good interactions and some, oh fuck, what am I doing here interactions. And maybe we can get them on to talk about them and introduce them because I know what the fuck happened when they were there. That's just, that's not my deal at the moment. But the idea is that you go through this metamorphosis, you become this beautiful podcasting butterfly, shake your tail, do fancy moves while you're in the air. And then last week I was like, well, you know what? I need to go back to just recording these beforehand, not do it all live, and get my production skills back up to par. Well, it turns out that it's kind of hard to go backwards. Like in the beginning, when you start, you don't want to make mistakes. You want everything pre-recorded. You want to sit down and produce things. You want to take out the background noise. You want to make sure your voice sounds as the best that it can be. And then after about 400 episodes, you're like, fuck it. They know me already. I'll fuck up. I'll use a bunch of filler words. I'll say a bunch of stuff just to make some time. But they know it's me. They know that I've gone through this caterpillar to butterfly move. And this is who I am right now. So yesterday, in attempting to produce the podcast beforehand, I nodded off twice. And finally, I was like, fuck it, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I just gave up. I was like, fuck, I'm going to bed. I give, whatever. In the middle of my dozing off, I got a message from Ronnie Dawson, the one and only. And Ronnie sent me a fascinating tidbit of information, which is actually one of the news articles right now. And by now, if you follow this individual or you follow his YouTube channel or you follow people that talk shit about him, you know who I'm about to talk about in the second news article for today. But the first one has to do with some stuff that I found really fascinating, really. But in a way it's not, unfortunately. And again, you say unfortunately, but when in this particular topic, if you're talking about the human race, it shouldn't be unfortunately, but not all humans have the best of humanity at the forefront of everything they do. I mean, that's the way it fucking is. I mean, I can't say that any other way. Be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you did, the individual we're about to talk about in the second article, you will know this person because if you follow me on the social media platforms, you know that I posted my own special meme about this individual and what they went through. And we'll talk about that because we really need to understand what's going on. We must figure it out. Because this is one of those individuals that when I first started the podcast, maybe he had less than 100,000 followers. The guy is over 2.1 million at the moment. But in the last year, he's been missing in action a lot, so we'll find out. Let's check out this song. By the way, got to give a shout out to Gooter, who I've got to give some props on getting the Thursday Freakout going. Props to Gooter. Last episode, I couldn't figure out who the fuck did it because it was slightly under the influence, kind of like article number 2. Check out this song. Before we get into the first article, I had this thing, right, where I'm thinking about, what if I were to interview someone that really would be in the know about what was happening with the situation in China, right? China is a deal, right? So I sat there and I thought about how would it be? How could I interview one individual, which I would have two questions for, not more than that, because I don't want things to go awry. I would ask 2 questions. And so let's get into that situation. So let's go into actually conducting an interview with the one and only President Donald J. Trump. Okay, this is Manny Moonraker, and I'm here with Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States. Maybe not for long. I don't know what the hell is going on. But we have an issue with China. But before we get there, Mr. Trump, or President Trump, should I say, sorry. A lot of the news outlets, they like to say Mr. Trump out of complete disrespect to the office that you hold. But President Trump, I would like to ask you a few questions. And number one, and this is the teaser to the main question that we have. So the first question is, it is a rumor of sorts in the economy, industrial trade, and just basically the world events out of China, that they've been producing things that they're referring to as man-Chinas and also vaginas. And I know that it's a play on words for them, but how do you feel about that, President Trump?
Not good. Believe me, not good.
I know it's a pretty sad situation that they would take our, the things that we say and humor with each other and post it to a product, like man China and vagina. But listen, the real meat of the story today, President Trump, is the fact that it appears that China may be beating the United States in the realm of the Space Force. Is that possible?
China.
Yes. It was China.
China.
No, only one
China.
sir.
China.
President Trump.
China.
Hey, I'm sorry.
China. I know China very well.
Can we get this back on track? Hello?
China.
President Trump, are you there?
China.
Northwest Wisconsin, where I'm
How the fuck she get into the interview?
China to me. China.
What the hell's going on here?
China.
No, sir.
China.
No,
You want to buy
China.
from China? That's
No,
great. Buy from
no,
China.
I
Buy
don't.
toys from China.
No, I'm a Toys R Us kid. I don't want to buy toys from China. And there you go. That would be the end of the interview with President Trump. But the news article for today has to do with the fact that possibly, and the news doesn't lie, right? Because it's on the internet. The news says that China has beaten the United States when it comes to a Space Force. They basically, when President Trump signed the documents making the Space Force a real deal, when he created that additional branch of the military, for fuck's sake, it was too late. Yeah, too late. And according to this, China has been at it for a long time. As a matter of fact, their little Space Force deal is called the PLA Strategic Support Force. Is that bananas? So far ahead. Now, I want to say this. We know that the secret space plane that has been run by the Air Force has been in space for a long time. A long time. The link to this article is in the description, but it also says that the Russians themselves have been organizing and reorganizing a space force in many different variants since 1990. What in the hell? Where is Corey Good? We need to assign Corey Good to the Space Force because apparently he needs to bring some of those ships that he's been flying to Mars on. He needs to bring it down, fly that bitch over to the White House front lawn, and let us show the world that the U.S. really isn't behind in the Space Force. We just decided to all of a sudden just give it a name and try to make it real for the general public. The funny thing about this particular Space Force that China has, it is, fuck my life, it is not just about space. This is what I mean. There are other humans on the planet that do not see space as just exploration. I mean, they want to fuck some people over. They're not afraid about it. some of the things that this Strategic Space Force does. And let me just on a little sidetrack. I saw one of their capsules. It looks like a piece of the Mechagodzilla from Japan. You know, the Soho films. It looks like Mechagodzilla. They're flying fucking Mechagodzilla into space. We're so fucked. It's not even funny. So the People's Liberation Army and their Strategic Support Force out of China. Apparently, they do more than just space. They're part of course, developing technology for space. Also for cyber things, internets, hashtag hackers. They're into the space technology, electronics, and also psychological warfare. Yeah. Funny is that the United States Space Force, it's only there to clean up the garbage in space. What the flying fuck is going on? This makes no sense to me. The article says that to date, the China's version of a Space Force has not only eclipsed Russia's situation, but it's catching up and surely eventually to surpass that of the United States. It's amazing. And here we have a president today. I'm not taking political sides on this, but from day one, the only reason we have him saying China like a billion times in clips, because he's been adamant that China is a threat in so many ways. His article just kind of certified the fact that China is a threat when it comes to space technology. And you listen, to have a Space Force and one of his mandate to be psychological warfare, fuck, that is so fucked up. Hey, fuck it. I mean, they're not playing any games. You know what you're dealing with when it comes to China, at least at a point where you know it's not going to be an easy competition with them. There's going to be some highfalutin craziness going on. So there you go. If I was Trump, I'd be saying China a million fucking times. I'd wake up from nightmares saying China, China, China. Yeah. No kidding. One of the biggest rockets, actually the Long March 5, oh, me love you long time, apparently was loaded a week ago from the time of this article, and it launched carrying an 8-ton satellite. I mean, China is taking on everyone, even SpaceX. I mean, everyone, no one is in the clear. The only thing that I don't like, though, is that when you look at China's camouflage on their military vehicles, it looks like it's really weird. It's like all chalky and stuff. It doesn't look smooth. It doesn't look like camouflage. It really doesn't. It looks like some video game. Like somebody just threw up a video game on there. And they're supposed to hide that shit with what they have. It's some weird stuff. That's the article. There's a lot of more information in it if you want to take a look at it. It talks about other things, basically, as far as the upcoming space station, the Tianguang space station that's supposed to go online for China within the 2 to 4 years. So they probably won't be needing the International Space Station for too much longer. So we know China will be up there. We know the International Space Station. We know that Igor at your belly will be up there. I mean, fuck. There isn't going to be no room in space, I guarantee you. There's going to be some shit going on. And we're about to witness some Star Wars level nonsense when it comes to space around the planet. And you and myself and your pets, your aging parents are going to be the only ones that are going to be witness to the crazy shit that's going to happen in space. But we'll be stuck here wondering if we'll survive. Because you can imagine, if they're up there fighting their asses off in between countries and nations in space, all that shit's got to come back down. And the people on the planet are the ones that are going to be fucked every step of the way. And at this point, there is no amount of tinfoil that you can put on your head to keep an 8-ton satellite from smashing you all the way to China, to be honest. Fucked up thoughts. Fucked up thoughts.
America great again.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Check it out. So there's one thing that you need to know. So I know right now we're having problems in the U.S. for our Space Force, exactly the emblem of what the hell is going to look like. But turns out that the emblem for China's Space Force is actually the logo for this episode. And you can purchase it for $3 if you decide that you want to defect before you even leave the fucking country. Like, get that shit delivered by, like, Amazon Prime or some shit like that. And tomorrow, defect your asses the fuck over to China. We will find you. We will find you. The next article has to do with something that Ronnie Dawson sent to me while I was falling asleep yesterday at the computer trying to get the episode together. For those of you who are listening live, you didn't listen to the first half, my explanation of why there wasn't an episode yesterday. And primarily because I tried to do a pre-production like I used to back in the day when I first started. But after 400 plus episodes, fuck, that's just not my style. I can't do it. I'll freeball it. That's the way it is. Freeballing through the entire podcast, and it's the only way to go. You know it. That's when you feel the freest. You feel there's no rules. You're just, you're living it. You're loving it. Living the vida loca. That's the way I do it now. Like, I try to do the whole pre-production thing. Fuck, that just didn't work. And actually, the Dark Horde podcast, that will probably be going through pre-production for the first 5 to 10 episodes. And then after that, it's all Moonraker all the time. Plain and simple. And in the chat box, live chat box, we have Dr. Green Man is in there. Guter said when and what date for the Dark Horde. I haven't said in the, I'm still in December. It's going to be in January, and I'm assuming it's going to be the middle of January. But as we get closer, I'll go ahead and put that out there so you guys can chime in. Like I said, I'm still working on those EVPs. Hopefully I can get someone to send me some live EVP recordings. Well, live when they fucking record it. It's not fucking Memorex. But we'll get that on there. I really want the first episode to be not just about telling stories, but I want to get in touch with folks who are paranormal hunters, if you will, and can give me some of their encounters, some of their recordings. I'm going to be honest with you. You guys know, when you watch things like the Travel Channel and all their ghost hunting bullshit, those EVPs, they're balls to the wall. Honestly, if you're standing there and you're asking questions and these random ass frequencies that are being picked up by the device are actually answering what the fuck you're asking, it's kind of fucked up. But it's exactly what I want to hear. And hopefully we'll get those together. I got about 2 weeks. 2 weeks to get those together. If you know a paranormal ghost hunting group that likes to record EVPs, send them my way. Let me know who it is. I'll contact them and see if we can get them on the first 5 episodes of the Dark Horde podcast. But for now, as I started to say, Ronnie sent me a message yesterday about one titled Glockner. Yeah, he is my nemesis on YouTube. He may not know it, make no bones about it. But the guy has been one of those folks in ufology that has been known to promote fake news when it comes to ufology and things like that. And then he turns around and he makes these great stories, about the MIB showing up at his door, sitting outside of cars, watching him, watching his every move, watching him when he leaves his house, following him. And that's what's getting him a lot of views. So when I first came across Security Team 10, I swear they had less than 100,000, maybe 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now he's up to 2.1 million subscribers on YouTube. And the funny thing is that in the last year, I was looking on his channel today, it's been pretty scarce. He's been having a lot of personal issues when it comes to his Man China version of ufology, his brand, and he hasn't been around. He's been taking a lot of breaks in between. The article says that the Mount Vernon Municipal Court decided on the week of December 10th, to find 26 people guilty of a lot of various things. On December the 10th, Tyler Glockner, a.k.a. Glockner, of Portsmouth, was found guilty of operating a vehicle while under the influence of alcohol and or a drug of abuse. And the court sentenced him to pay $500, serve 180 days in jail with 177 days suspended, placed him on a 2-year of community control, whatever the fuck that means. I don't know. Do you have an ankle bracelet? I don't know what that is. I don't know. Every municipality just has different names for different things. I'm assuming that community control, he's got to report in or some shit like that. I don't know. He also has to attend and complete a 72-hour driver's intervention program, and his license is suspended for 1 year. When I first saw this, the mind started just clicking away, and then I dozed off. My head hit my fucking computer, and I was probably slumped over for like about 15 minutes when I woke up again, and I said, fuck the podcast. I can't do it. I'm just too tired. But when I woke up in the morning, I started putting memes together. And if you follow me, like I said earlier, on social media, you'll see the memes because I put that up there. But the meme itself said this: you can't blame the MIB. Because you can't. If you were out drinking and driving, weeding and driving, crystal meth and driving, that's your own fucking fault. Completely. But then Ronnie messaged me back saying that he saw somewhere that possibly Tyler Glockner was actually telling people that the MIB did have something to do with it. Fuck is wrong with you, Tyler? Come on. Cut this. First of all, you need to trim down the freaking thick-ass eyebrows. Those shits are all over the fucking place. Trim that shit down. Come on. And stop hanging out with Pareidolia Pete. I guarantee you that Scott C. Waring was probably driving the car at the time, and his pareidolia took over, and he was saying all kind of shit. And that's why he got stopped. But the issue is this. If you fuck up, fine. Admit to it, move on. Get done with it. You're human, got it. But you can't, can you really blame the MIB or being set up? Can you really blame that you're under surveillance? For what? Most of the shit that you post is fake as fuck. The government's not worried about you. Come on, get it together. On December 24th, Tyler posted on his Twitter page, "Do not believe everything you hear. I have been set up recently in an attempt to ruin my reputation, and I will explain more in a coming video. This is an attack on truth seekers." Today, he actually posted another tweet. "I just want to get back to work. I'll let the lawyers handle the rest. I'm ready to talk about aliens and UFOs again. I know that's what you guys want too." Don't know what to say. I mean, really. I don't get it. You have 2 million plus people that listen to you, and you want to continue the madness by saying that you were set up. How can you be set up? If you're in your car, you're driving your vehicle, and you're under the influence, who set you up? The story for this, I'm actually going to monitor this. I'm telling you, I'm going to go on there. He's eventually going to show up. He's been off. Actually, his last video was back in October. So he didn't post anything in November and nothing in December. So what this really tells me is that Tyler Glockner is going through a lot of personal situations, a lot of issues personally that are keeping him from being able to even stay in contact and provide context and content to his followers. And why not blame that mysterious Men in Black? I don't know. The link in the article, it's in there for you, and it basically, all it does is tells you who the hell else got pinched by the cops in that particular town. But, hey, you do what you can. And the fact is that it is what it is. If I get pulled over by the cops because I'm driving fucking drunk, I don't think someone set me up. I'm sorry. You've got to own up to what you did. You can't blame the imaginary people that you usually use on your videos in order to make up for your shortfall personally. Gooder says it is up to law. What? Not fair to try to judge them online. Yeah, it is actually. It really is, because anyone that's a content creator, even especially in ufology, you are constantly being taken to the court of online justice. We all go through that. Podcaster, YouTuber, blogger, vlogger, you all do. So my point is this. If it was someone who showed that there was nothing going on in his personal life that has been made public, that he has apparently kind of like taken a step away from his channel, though he has quite a big following, and who reportedly has from time to time posted irregular, fake, trumped up situations, then yeah, you become part of that public judge and jury. And he's been that way. I've talked about this guy for the longest, and so do many other podcasters who try to get away from trumping up the fake news. But again, to have the fabled Men in Black to be the reason why you were driving under the influence, that's not cool. Own up to your bullshit. That's all I'm saying. Old hack. You can't continue to have the MIB be blamed for all your personal nonsense, because that just makes no sense. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like an illusion, kind of like the next song. The fellas were asking for some of that Arnold Schwarzenegger yell. Yeah. I had that in the last episode. It's pretty funny. I mean, when you listen to that yell from Arnold, it's like, who the fuck thought that was a good thing in a movie? I don't know, but it's hilarious as fuck right now. That's my rant when it comes to Tyler Glockner. Listen, you guys know. I tell you guys all the time. Sometimes I'm doing the podcast and I'm sucking down some rum or some vodka. Like tonight, I'm doing Menage a Trois, California Red. It's a wine. That's what I'm on right now. But for fuck's sake, don't get up behind the fucking car. Whatever you're doing, even if it's not Glockner or Pareidolia Pete, if you are enjoying yourself with a little bit of adult beverage, don't get behind the wheel. Uber it or just fucking sleep wherever the fuck you are. That way you don't have to blame the MIB, the lizard people, or the fucking the blonde motherfuckers from 4.2 far. You don't have to blame no one but yourself. So, like I said, I can't wait to see what this rubber dicker has to say. And you know what? I got to say something. One of our favorite folks on Twitter asked me today, basically, what happened to the rubber dickies for this year? The rubber dickies is going to skip a year. And that's because there was not too much as far as participation from the listeners last year. So we're going to skip a year. Next year, we'll have the rubber dickies again. And so we'll have 2 years of content to vote on. And fuck my life. I promise you that Lock Nerd is in the running right now for the top rubber dicker for next year's 2020 rubber dickies. Fuck, I'm voting for him right now. I promise you that. Hopefully we'll get back on tomorrow, Sunday, and all the way on to the end of the year. That's the way it's going to go down. And again, keep an eye out for the Dark Horde. I'm going to start setting that up tomorrow. But you'll hear the first episode in about 2 weeks altogether. I thank you guys for listening, especially for the guys who chime in live in the chat box. I appreciate all you guys. You guys are fantastic and awesome. And thank you for keeping me company in this crazy nest that we call space news and ufology madness. But it's time for me to check out. I got to finish this menage a trois. Ciao.
Ah!